This is the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you'll learn to get unstuck. Start now. Conquer life's challenges by learning to do difficult. Find quick and clever ways to overcome. Wait, did you think life was going to be easy? Remember, all of your excuses are now dead to me. Let's get started. Guess what time it is? It's time for you to hit the subscribe button and find just 1% that you think will benefit from this. But if you're feeling a little generous, right? Or you're super free with your time right now, probably doing nothing because you're listening to this. Well, maybe if you're doing something, actually just make yourself free right now. Hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? Hit it. Come on. Hit subscribe.
I think this is a beautiful story because I'm realizing, I just talked to someone else on a podcast and I was just telling them that, it's amazing how much my child version of myself knew about my future, how many tools that I still use from when I was a kid. And I just think it's really cool that you're saying when you were a kid, you started this curiosity. And just throughout life, it's like a seed that you watered. I mean, I think that's really beautiful. And then you took a leap of faith. Now, you talked to your wife about that. Was she on board? Is she into space as well? Or did you have to kind of pull her along the way? How did that work?
Well, she was already open to the idea. It's not like I had to convince somebody who was like, what is this garbage of which you speak, right? She was like, oh, wow, these astronauts, wow, cool, right? I remember the first time she met Buzz Aldrin and I was going, well, the second guy to walk on the moon. She's like, oh, my God. And it was actually at that same show in the United Kingdom that we spoke to Jack Lousma, who was on the second Skylab mission. And Jack Lousma is now a very good friend of ours, and had you told me back then that this man who also ran for Congress and who also commanded the space shuttle would be one of your friends, I'd be like, who are you? What are you talking about, Willis? And, with Jack, I remember at the time as well, the fact that somebody was interested not in his space shuttle, but the thing he was actually most proud of, but he doesn't tell anybody this, was the work he did on Skylab. Right.
Wow.
And that then also happened with Bruce McCandless, who is well known as the astronaut who's floating in space with the backpack. That very well-known photo of just the astronaut floating.
Yeah.
Right, that's Bruce McCandless. Now, he became an astronaut in 1966, if memory serves me correct, but he never got a chance to fly up until 1984. So he was in the NASA ranks for 18 years, hoping to get a flight, and ended up doing a lot of work on Skylab. And when I spoke to him the first time and I said, look, I'm writing this book about the television systems on Skylab, the look on his face was just, he almost had tears in his eyes that somebody had bothered to remember what he had done on this forgotten mission of Skylab. Now, He developed that backpack for testing on Skylab. They tested it inside the space station because it was big enough to do it without going outside and putting the crew in danger for a test. Right, so he was very closely involved in Skylab. And when you listen to the mission recordings, you'll hear his voice all through it. He was on duty as Capcom, communicating with the astronauts during flight. And he was just so happy to be able to tell his story. And Ed Gibson from SL4, the third mission, and I'll get into the numbering system as well, why the third manned mission is called SL4, that there was a confusion in the numbering system when they developed the missions. It was originally supposed to be SL1, the unmanned mission, and then SL2, 3, and 4 for the 3 manned missions. Now, what ended up happening, they were called, the astronauts thought they were going to be named Skylab 1, 2, and 3, which is what the press was referring to them as. When you listen to the transcripts, you will hear that Capcom refer to the missions as SL or Skylab 4, 3, and 2. And it's like, well, what's going on here? So the best way to remember it, SL, Skylab launch 1, 2, 3, or 4. They also are labeled SLM, Now, I researched it, and it's in the top of my head. I can't remember it. I think Skylab mission SLM 1, 2, and 3, which is SL 2, 3, and 4, if that makes any sense.
Yes. It's confused. When you first set the first set and then you reset it, I was like, wait, huh? But when you explained it, it makes a little bit more sense. It's still hard to picture in my head, though.
Well, that's why I thought I can't use both systems. I use the SL system, and it just makes it easier for everybody. And so anyway, now I forgot what I was talking about. Why did I end up talking about SL 1 and 2 and 3 and 4?
Oh,
what the hell?
You were just telling me the different systems.
That's right.
And then you were telling about
because of Ed Gibson. Now, Ed Gibson had a website, which he still has, and I was looking at it and I thought, oh, he's only got still photos. He hasn't got any mission footage. So I sent him an email and I said, look, if you're interested, I've got pretty much your entire mission on video. Are you interested in a copy? And he was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize somebody went to all the effort to get it. And so Ed Gibson is another very close friend of mine now. Just for the fact that I've been working with him for coming up to 8 years now. And
wow.
I mean, the biggest honor I got, I was doing an interview on another program, which he joined in via telephone. And during the interview, he goes, Dwight, I've just written this book. Would you like to proofread it for me? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yes! And I thought, not many people get that sort of an offer.
All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening to. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like, for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.